everyone, thanks for joining us. Today we are going through Heir of Fire, chapters 1 through 22. In this book, we meet a lot of new characters, and one of them is the full-blooded Fae alpha hole Prince Rowan Whitethorn.
Prince Rowan White.
Let's get all your thoughts on him. What do you think so far? What was your first impression, too?
I want Brooke to go first.
I
The
do have a
hottest
direct
take?
quote from Brooke. Do have one.
I want to hear what past Brooke had to say. What did past Brooke have to say?
Let's see. I can't remember if this was like before you started reading it or after, but I just started taking notes. Yeah, I think it's before. You wrote, I hope she doesn't fall in love with a fairy prince because that would be a bummer.
Yeah, I'll step you through a very abbreviated version of Brooke's thoughts on Rowan. At the beginning, absolutely hated him. Oh my god, this is exactly what I didn't want. Thank God they're family. And then there's a comment about how we're not really family, and I was like, oh no, I don't like that comment at all. You definitely should be closer cousins-wise to make me feel better about this. I didn't like how violent he was at the beginning. Again, like my issue with Kaol making Selena about a Dorian. I'm not a big fan of the like, I'm gonna be physically combative with you, especially like smaller female character.
Right.
Um,
Like, didn't he like slap her in the very beginning?
he punched her.
Oh, punched her. Yeah. I
Did she
remember
deserve it? Absolutely. Should he have done it? Maybe not.
it's very I feel like I think I remember talking to Elena about this separately where I'm like, he punched her. I don't agree with that, but it seems like a very
No.
like Faye thing to do, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I don't want to like explain away violence against any gender or sex, but she definitely what she said, she fully deserved retaliation. Maybe he shouldn't have punched her. Maybe he also understands she can handle it. I don't know. I didn't love the beginning of Rowan. As of chapter 22, I've definitely changed my ideas about Rowan. And now I'm very conflicted, which is what Sarah J. Maas loves to do to me. Be like, now feel very conflicted, Brooke. Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah.
Elena?
I don't know how much I can say. So
No
I'm just gonna say it
spoilers.
all.
Up
I've
to
said
22.
in the past that I rage quit reading after book 2 because I looked up who she ends like her like dating
Yeah,
journey
tell
and I
us.
saw a name on there that I like hadn't seen before. I was like, I don't even know who the heck this character is.
But it's somehow not Dorian or Kay.
But
Who knows?
not
We haven't
Dorian.
finished the end yet.
Who is this
Not that
blip on Selena's dating timeline?
literally, like, why is there on her dating timeline someone I don't even know? I'm not invested in this. How dare they?
Who is this tall, silver-haired fox who sometimes punches people and probably shouldn't?
What is this tension?
I'm conflicted.
Going into this read, I was like, I'm not going to get too invested in any of the love stories because I know it'll make me mad again. So it's interesting meeting Rowan as a character that we haven't met before and just kind of seeing how he approaches her. Didn't love when they said they were family. Felt like no matter how distantly you say someone's cousin, like you're still saying they're cousin.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
like
so distant.
yeah, it's like the extended Faye family. He was like, there are only so many of us left, so we're all family.
Yeah.
But
But I agree with Brooke. Up until chapter 22, he was kind of just like not approachable at all. Like very much the worst. I like also just have underlying questions about why I can't think of the name of the town right now. Why he isn't like with the rest of the Fae, like why he's one of the few Fae that's in that like kind of halfway town.
Mistward?
Oh,
Miss
the
something?
town with all the demi-fays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
I
in
think
the
it's
demi.
Dornell, right?
Dornell sounds right.
I could be wrong.
Or
I
maybe
mean,
they're
the
trying
one
to get
where,
to
like,
Dornell.
Gwendolyn, right?
No, they're trying to get to Doranel, I think, is like the city that Maeve is in. It's like missed something.
But anyway, like most of
Okay.
those are demi-fae, and he's one of the few fae there. And out of those, one of the few fae that like aren't there because they're dating or married to or involved with a demi-fae. So like I'm like, what did he do to like somehow get banished to this like not that he necessarily got banished, but it seems like he's either not comfortable or welcome in if it's Doranel, wherever Maeve is.
I think I got the impression that everyone there, like all the demi-fays, were terrified of him. Like he's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if he like his job is just to sort of like oversee that like middle place. Because they were mentioning that it's not just him. He's got like a whole group of lackeys that are like
Mm-hmm.
these dangerous,
That are underpaid,
off-putting
right?
fays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
There's
feels like
some-
there's history there.
yeah. Like I think he's
Mistward.
just really there because that's the one.
Yeah.
Like
The
I think he's
middle
really there
place.
just because he's tasked with training Aelin.
I think
And
that's
he's
part of
always
it
gonna
too.
call her Aelin, and I love that. I think that's so funny.
So yeah, it's called Mistward is like the
Okay,
middle place that they have to stay in until they prove themselves and then are called to Doranel by Queen Maeve.
Speaking
interesting.
of Queen Maeve, what did you guys think of her?
Oh,
Safe
she's a baddie.
far away. Oh god. Bad vibes. Real
Bad
bad
vibes.
vibes.
Hmm.
Not
Yeah.
a good lady.
Not a
No
good
redemption arc. No redemption arc. Bad vibes.
Like I'm not at the point where I want her
What did she
dead.
do that was bad?
Just for
I
vibes.
Just
Yeah, there's no specific grievance yet. I think it's the overall feeling of like Selena was kept from this place for a reason. And I don't yet fully understand like the multi-queen um like society that the Fae have, but to me it seems like we are gearing up for Maeve either trying to get Aelin to be under her and serve her so she can be like queen superior or like get rid of her entirely. I don't know, I just get really like spine tingly vibes from her that she does not have Selena's best interest at hand.
I think you're a pretty good judge of character, Brooke, because you got bad vibes from a certain character.
Sometimes
From the
not,
series.
Archer Finn.
Okay, maybe not
Um,
this one.
Also, I feel
Yeah.
like just in this society, if someone's in a position of power, it's better to be suspicious of them immediately.
Yeah, I just have a hard time trusting her yet. She hasn't done much, so once we get to see her more, I'll reserve judgment, but I'm a little wary.
Well, she hasn't done much, but it's not like she's also going out of her way to help Aelin. Like, Aelin literally just needs her to answer a quick question about, like,
Right.
why magic isn't around anymore. And she's like, go through these trials with my great grandson or whatever Rowan is to her.
Yeah, let me set you up with this like beautiful brick wall who's just gonna keep slapping you around a bunch until you learn your powers, which could be a good thing. Like maybe she wants Aelin to be stronger, so she'll be like a stronger force for the Fae. Maybe she's got some weird side, you know, mission. I don't know.
Yeah, her intentions seem kind of questionable. Like if you wanted to defeat her or something, by that I mean Aelin, like why would you have her trained to improve her Fey abilities?
Right.
Right?
Unless she's hoping that Selena is gonna like combust herself in a fiery combustion.
Yeah. Or
Which
like
Rowan
knife
does
her
mention.
or
He
something.
yeah, he mentions that like if she goes too hard on her magic, she could just like so maybe that's what Maeve is hoping for.
I do love the fact that we finally met a character that like is capable of beating the shit out of Aelin. Because I think Rowan's the first one that she's not like I can immediately defeat him.
Mhm.
Right, because in book 1 and 2, she seems very cocky,
Mm.
and
Yeah,
no one has
and I
ever
know
got to her level.
yeah, and we talked about how it's, like, semi-annoying how powerful she is for a teenage girl who doesn't seem like she should be that powerful, and it's nice that she's now in a situation where she's not. Like, she's very like, she has no control over her power, she can't even shift back and forth even though she's in a land that has magic now. And it's yeah, it's nice to see her, like, actually be challenged.
Why
Yeah,
don't we wrap Oh, sorry,
oh,
Lena.
sorry, Judy. I was just gonna say I'm a big fan of the kitchen scenes where she like just has to cut potatoes for hours at a time. I'm like, this is what you need in your life. Just cut some potatoes, reflect on your life.
She's so
I would just do
sad
that.
though. She's so sad and angry. Like whenever she's like mean to the nice people in the kitchens, like Selena, stop taking your anger and your self-loathing out on these nice people.
So nice.
Like Emrys is just trying to make you an omelet.
Amy just said so nice makes me really worried.
The
That's
people
something
in the
that
kitchens
happened
are nice, right?
to they're very nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of it
Luca.
is also because they're demi-phase, they understand that, people treat them differently because they're demis, and in a way, she's also kinda she isn't Selena a demi-fae too? Because her father,
I
I think I don't know, I can't remember.
I think
think
she
she's
is.
no. I thought she was full Fae.
I don't
I'm
think
probably
so because
misremembering.
if she is following the line of Queen Elena, like,
Mhm.
Elena was some part of Fae, and then her husband, was human. So, like, there's some Fae blood in her, but she's not, like,
Yeah.
100%. And I think 100% is kind of rare, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember that. Um, yeah, like I like Malachi, Emerson's husband, but he's really mean to her, and then she's mean back, and I'm like, can we all just talk to each other and settle our differences and be friends? Because I feel like you guys should all be friends.
I think they will be. At least I hope they will be. And then like I think she'll get to the point where she's friends with all. This is my like long-standing theory. She'll get to the point where she's friends with all of them, and then she'll force Rowan to become friends with them. It's gonna be like one of
Oh,
those like her forcing him
That
to
could
be
happen.
social moments.
like this is my boyfriend slash friends with benefits or trainer with benefits. You should all be friends, and he listens to
Hmm.
your stories all the time, but is a hawk. Here, love him.
Did you guys catch that he was a hawk in the beginning?
I
Not in
didn't.
the beginning, no.
Yeah, not until that scene where she's like in the background listening to their like nighttime stories, and then she looks behind her outside and there's just a hawk watching, and at first I was like, oh cool, new character, and I was like, just kidding, it's Ro.
I think it's so funny how he was there, like, scoping her out while she was trying to scope out, Wenlin and her her cousin or something.
Eventually, she's gonna have to go deal with Wenlin at some point. Otherwise, Kale's gonna die. Like she's, I feel like she's very isolated from her original mission right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've entirely forgotten that part where sometimes she's like, "Oh, maybe it'll take like how could she think that I'm going to be here for a year or two?" But there's no like I can't literally be here for that much longer. Like I need to go pretend to assassinate the royals and then get back to Rifthold. Yeah. Um
That
and make sure
continent.
Kale doesn't get dead. Dead. Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about the events in Wenlin and Doranel and Mistward, um,
Yes.
why don't we talk about Aylin's, like, what is she doing? I mean, obviously she's training, but like how do you think her training is going so far? Because something happened in chapter 22, right?
Yeah, I mean, she makes a lot of progress at the end there. Giving her too much credit.
Better.
I think I think she makes a lot of progress. Like she shifts for it's the second
Hmm.
time. I think like the second time that she's able to shift. And she creates a whole lot of fire, doesn't kill herself, like doesn't use up all her magic like Rowan says is possible, and directs it. Like she mentions that, or he mentions it. They have a conversation about how she somehow like didn't burn herself in the process. Like she only burned the skinwalkers, also the whole forest. But I think he mentions like you didn't even singe an eyebrow, which is impressive to him for where she's at. So I don't know if it's just her innate power or if something's been getting through to her in all of this training. But
Mhm.
she's getting there.
Yeah, progress is being made. I
Yeah,
remember reading it just being like, when is something interesting gonna happen while she's training?
Yeah, I mean,
skinwalkers.
I think it'll be interesting seeing how it progresses from here now that she's had that moment with Rowan where she like ran away and he came after her. Um, we'll
Yeah,
see.
I liked that he came after her. That was a big reason that my thoughts on him changed. Was that up until that point, I was like, oh, he's just gonna let her go. He doesn't care. I'm wondering if like Maeve made him, or if he felt like he had to go get her because she's, the Queen of Terrasen. But
Mhm.
it was nice that he put himself into danger to go rescue her.
Right. It looks like he's kind of putting himself out there to show that he may or may not care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
But
trusted her. There was the moment where she was gonna use her big old fireball and told him to shift, and he didn't question it. Like he just did it. So, like, oh, look at you guys working together.
wasn't that a
Aw,
really cool scene?
oh my goodness. Spend more
It
time in that tree, please.
wasn't that a really cool scene too when she shifted for the first time?
Yeah.
What
That was
happened again? I'm sorry, I can't remember.
is it when they like run into the barrow white or whatever was at the barrow? The like very scary scene. Um Yeah, there's
Back
like
when her,
this.
oh, I was just gonna say that was back when her trainings were kind of still boring to me. So I was,
Yeah.
Like, didn't he bite her?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
that
because
one.
yeah, that
you
was
mentioned that I do.
vividly remember that now. I
You
was
mean the
trying to
hot
think of
bite scene? Yeah.
yeah, the hot bite scene. Um, yeah, that was either the first or second time. I was thinking that she shifted when there was that really scary scene at the barrow.
Yeah.
When they got like attacked ish by they don't really know what. Rowan's like looking into what it was that was there. Um, but maybe she didn't shift then. It might, yeah, the first time might have been when he bit her. And then awkwardly was like, oh, wait, you're still kind of dating someone, aren't you? I can't bite you because you're someone else's woman. And I was like, oh, we now have sexual tension, everyone. It's here.
And
Cheers.
he's like,
I
I'm
love
no
a
one
good
else's
tension.
woman.
Yeah. But like then Selena thinks about Kale and she still has feelings for him and I'm conflicted,
Right, she still
guys.
wears the ring that he gave her, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sweet.
I read that scene twice because I was like trying to figure out has she said goodbye to him forever? And I keep thinking no. Like I think she's very conflicted and that they at least need to have like either they're going to get back together, they're going to figure it out or they need like one more scene where it's like okay, it's not you.
Mhm.
And then
I think
and then
there's
they
definitely
go.
hope. It seemed like the way that they parted was very open-ended, like, they could if he accepted her for who she was and her past, there's a chance that they could get back together.
Mhm. Yeah, it was very breakup-y, but with like a chance that neither one of them thinks is actually going to happen, which is the part that I'm confused about because I think that they're both overreacting personally, but
These
I don't
teenagers.
know. Yeah, I keep trying to figure out like is it am I now more interested in Rowan because Brooke is more interested in Rowan than Kale or is it because I think Selena is more interested in Rowan than Kale?
Well, why don't we switch over to things that are happening, I guess, back home in
Mm.
Adarlan? So what's happening with Kale? we have a new character in this continent, Adian. What did you guys think of him when he was introduced?
This one I read entirely correctly. The minute that it was like, oh, like Aelin's cousin who's turned and is now working for the king is coming with like his big bad army and he's awful and we should be afraid of him. I was like, he's definitely part of the rebellion. Let's get this going. And he was definitely no, yeah, go.
I was just saying, I read the same thing where it was like, oh, he was really protective of Aelin growing up, and like they were like this, but also he's the worst now. It was like,
yeah, no.
For sure.
I didn't love him as a person with all of his like partying and shoving Dorian into a rose bush and being super, super just like cocky and gross. But I was like, okay, we're definitely in rebellion time. And then when we get to the chapter where he explains to Chaol, like, this is like, I've been working to, basically like get the rebellion going like this whole time, although like thinking that Aelin is dead. I was like, yeah, okay, you're not as awful as you seem to be. I love it.
All right, and he was like going out partying, but was
He
he that
was
type of person?
he kept putting together parties that were like causing chaos because like Chaol's men would go to them and not be at their stations, and he was just like
He's causing
trying.
drama.
Right, but it was all for show. Like he's trying to exude this like bad boy partier aesthetic, but then he like as soon as everybody else is like getting drunk, he slips out and goes and does his rebellion stuff, which is how Chaol finally figures it out because he follows him, and then gets almost dead. Because Adion's like, I'm killing you either way. Do you want me to do it fast or slow? And then Chaol tells him that Aelin's alive.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Progress.
Rebellion's on.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
I was just gonna say though, had he not pushed Dorian in the rose bush, Dorian wouldn't have met this new character, Sorscha, right? The healer.
met her before though. He's just ignored her every
and like pay attention.
He's just ignored her every time.
So what do you guys think of her?
I'm suspicious. I don't know. I just think it's too good to be true. Like, oh, here's an immediate new love interest after it becomes clear that Aelin's never going to be into you.
But doesn't he deserve love too?
No, yes. He does. I'm suspicious of Sorscha. I don't understand why she's at the castle as a healer when the king murdered her entire village and family. I can't. There's something going on in the background. Like, there's no way she's just like, yeah, I love the crown prince, even though his dad's the worst. I mean, I know Aelin did that, but like, what are the odds it happens twice?
I think isn't she like in love with him, or I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, she talks about how she's like she saw him, did not know who he was, like totally fell for him, and then realized, like found out who he was, and then got real sad about it.
Oh,
like, oh, girl.
Because he's a prince, and
yeah, it's like obviously that's not going to work out.
Oh.
I love Sorscha, and am worried that this is another Archer situation. I don't know if it's like Elena telling me that she was suspicious of her, or if I would have like, come to the same thought myself, but there were definitely parts where I was like, you keep mixing a whole lot of potions that you say are for something, but I'm wondering if you're creating some sort of stockpile for other means, or if you're there as a spy or what. But my hope is that if she's there for other reasons, that she's gonna like come around and then just be the new queen and then make a difference that way.
Yeah, I feel like ideal scenario, the secret is just that she's also in the rebellion.
Yeah.
member, and then like convinces Dorian to also join the like that would be ideal. I just think I have trust issues after Archer, and I think I think I'm refusing to get connected to new characters after rejoining in the first.
That's understandable.
Yeah, no, I mean, once you've been burned multiple times by one author, you start to get a little gun shy. And it does seem like it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
I did like how, they bring Sorscha in and like, she's been around the whole two books, you just didn't know, but like
I
she
know, right?
has. Like, I mean, all those scenes did happen. We were never introduced to the Med Witch of those scenes. And then we find out it's Sorscha, which is fine. And I didn't hate that, but I do wonder if it's too good to be true. But I want someone good for Dorian because I love Dorian.
Which is Hypaxia.
The Med Witch is Sorscha. And now Dorian has feelings for her, and it's really cute. And then he explodes her whole office with his ice magic because he gets super upset. And she helps him cover it up. And like her boss gets mad at her and everything. And I don't know, even if she's there for rebellion-y reasons, I think that they're probably the right reasons, right? Like we all want the King of Adarlan to die. So I just hope that she's not going to hurt Dorian in the process. And I don't think she will because she loves him.
Can we take a
I think
quick
we can
second
all
to
agree
discuss?
that the King of Adarlan is definitely a bad guy.
Bad guy. Yeah.
He might have a redemption arc.
He's or maybe
Dead,
he has a
dead,
redemption
dead,
arc.
dead, 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 dead.
Can we take a quick second to discuss the fact that Dorian has like ice wind magic and Rowan also has ice wind magic? Like, what are the odds they have the same kind of magic? Like, are there only two kinds of magic, like ice wind and fire, and like they just happen to land on the same side, or is it significant that they have the same magic?
You mean
Does he
the
have
two
ice
hottest
wind?
guys have the same kind of magic? Weird.
I thought only one of them had like one type or like each element, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, like one has ice and one has wind?
Yeah, I never got the impression that Dorian had like wind, only ice, and Rowan was just wind.
Does Rowan have ice magic? I'm trying to remember.
I don't
No,
recall.
We're gonna have
uncertain.
to.
Okay, Elena, you find it.
Oh, look, I thought it was just because, like, maybe it's just, like, conflicting with Aelin's for me because, like, she has, like, fire and heat magic, and then, like, Dorian's is always cold, and, like, the wind whipping is cold, so, like, maybe it's just, like, colder vibes. I don't know. You're right. I probably read into it wrong.
But it'd be
I
really
don't
cool if Aelin and Dorian did get together. Like they're kind of opposites in terms of elements. Like, wouldn't that be cool?
No.
not into it.
She already burned that bridge. Pun intended.
She burned that bridge.
Yeah, Dorian
Stay away
can
from
do better.
Dorian.
Yeah, I really do think it's a situation with Sorsha though, where she seems too good to be true. So I'm just like very suspicious of her specifically. Because I'm like, where's the catch? Versus other new characters like Manon, Manon come in
Manon.
Manon.
and Manon.
Yeah,
It's Manon.
Manon.
I've been saying that wrong in my head this entire
It's okay.
time.
I did too until I saw an interview with SJM and she was like pronouncing, and that's when I found out it's actually Kale and not like kale or cool, which I initially thought.
I have the abbreviation guide saved on my phone. So when each new character or place pops up, I'm like, nope, I need to know how to pronounce this so I don't like start confusing myself.
Even their last names, like okay, Ash River, seems fine, but but her Selena
Sar-
Darthonian,
Sardothian. Yeah.
Sardothian, and then Aelin, Ash River, Galvanize.
Yeah. There's so many.
They're a mouthful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it just be
Oh.
Whitehorn?
Thanks, Rowan.
But yeah, Manon, like she seems like super evil, which makes me be like, nah, she's gonna be good.
Yeah, so Manon is a new character. What did you
Like,
guys think of her?
Her first chapter, terrified. I was like, oh no, a new villain that literally eats people. I'm not interested. But there was that one line in one of her more recent chapters where you can tell that she's looking at the situation of all of the witches about to go learn how to like ride dragons to take over the world, theoretically.
Mhm.
And she's like, I don't know. Is this what we should be doing? And I'm like, okay, that seed, I can work with it.
Yeah, it's when she starts questioning all, like, the witches' like, beliefs and, what they're tasked to do,
Mhm.
and I like that about her.
Yeah.
Because, like, aren't they tasked to train and ride the wyverns for the king?
Yes. Yeah, they've all been called there by the king, and they're all like training on how to ride the wyverns.
Yeah.
And she's still like a super bloodlusty, vicious lady where she's like, I want the biggest, baddest dragon, and also like humans need to stop standing so close to me because I want to eat your blood. And I'm like, okay, all right, we've got a long road ahead of us to where I'm gonna trust you near any of my favorite characters, but I think we can get there.
yeah,
I
literally the scene where she's standing in line for the cafeteria and she's like, I could drink this guy's blood. That would be great.
I was like, all right, maybe less blood drinking.
But that's what the witches are known to do, isn't it? Like, it's not
Yeah.
just her coven, it's blue bloods and yellow legs, like, they probably think the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to use those iron teeth for something, right?
Yeah, and they have, like, the
Um,
iron nails too, don't they?
Yeah. I'm just saying we could also
yeah.
use them for other things that I wouldn't mind reading about other than drinking people's
Yeah,
blood.
just for blood.
Gonna throw that out there. We could get creative.
Yeah. Definitely the first chapter she's in when she's like hunting down like the good witches. It's like, oh no, don't do that. Don't love you. But then I feel like I started getting like, is she really evil? When they were traveling towards wherever they're training with the wyverns. And there are those like carriages that were all locked up. And she's like, that smells weird and bad. And like my running theory is that's where Roland and Caltaine, like it's definitely them being transformed into whatever monster things the king are creating.
Yes, 100%. Because I think she mentions like it's two people, like one that seems female, one that seems male. Like there's no way it's not them. I thought the same thing.
Good catch. I don't
Yeah.
know what it
And
means, but good catch.
Oh, I think they're
Theory.
getting turned into the thing that was underneath the library in the catacombs that attacked Dorian and Selena, and I'm not
Think
excited.
you think they'll be like the demons?
Yeah.
yeah. Really? And like the fact that she's like that smells bad. I was like, oh, she's not gonna like whatever the king's like secret mutant plan is, and that's
Mhm.
why she's gonna be good. But I remember really early on when I was reading this, I like texted Jamie and I was like, they're turning them into the wyverns. The wyverns are like people. Like that's how they get the wyverns. And Jamie was like, absolutely not. The wyverns are just wyverns. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I
Gross.
did have to shut that theory down because the wyverns are just cool creatures. Like they're their own thing.
I don't
Or
know if she's
dragons.
lying.
You don't like flying? Is that what you said?
No, I don't know if you're
She's like,
lying. I don't know if you're like like trying to get back at me for convincing you Micah might be okay.
whoa, no other book spoilers.
Not this time.
Um,
But yeah,
yeah,
so at this point, does Manon and the other witches like have they picked their wyverns yet?
no.
That's the next chapter. That's chapter like 20.
Oh, okay.
I want to read it.
Please read it.
After
I'm
this.
so excited.
It's right here. I could read it right now if I wanted.
If it's not
Also,
27,
even
it's like,
though
or if it's not
oh, you were
23, it's 24.
23, 24.
Yeah, it's something like that. It comes real quick.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
think what the way I said up to 22 because it was like the very last Selena scene. And then we'll jump into Manon, I think. I think that was the next chapter.
The whole book?
Okay.
The the last
What?
Selena scene in the whole book.
Oh no, I just mean like it's the Selena, Rowan, like what's going on with them. But you know how like the chapters are like they jump back and forth between them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, we know that the witches are all female, and I just have to bring back this earlier theory. I forgot who said this. I think it might have been I think it might have been Brooke. And she said, "We need this was before Air of Fire." And she goes, "We need more female characters." And then SJM introduces like a whole race of witches.
Yeah, that does sound like something that I would say after reading the first two books, because it's
Like,
basically just Selena. Yeah, I mean,
right.
Selena and Nehemia really are the only two female characters that you can really root for. And like now we have Manon and we have Sorscha, and I'm super, super pumped to get to know them. Maeve is evil. I'm gonna go down on that one. I just think that
On the
that's where we're
Maeve is
headed.
Evil
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not excited to learn more about her, but I'm hoping Sorsha's good. I like Manon. I hope Manon gets the biggest, baddest wyvern and then turns it on the king. Fingers crossed.
That's definitely what happened.
That'd be
I
cool.
hope so. Yeah.
I mean, you guys mentioned another theory that like Dorian would be the one to axe the king.
I still root for that.
It seems too obvious to me. I think it's going to be someone else. Yeah, I just think someone else, maybe a flying witch, will have her wyvern eat the king's head off, and then Dorian takes over with his queen, Sorsha.
Theories out there. I think it would be hilarious if Manon ended up with Kale because he's so freaking lawful good and she's so not. I just think it would be
Chaotic
entertaining.
evil.
It would be
Yeah,
entertaining.
I do see a lot of single people that are now cropping up, and I keep trying to pair them. And I know I told you guys definitely before chapter 22, I was thinking like Manon and Rowan would be
Rowan,
good
yeah.
because they're both very fun. But now I don't know how I feel. I'm gonna need a few more chapters to figure out how I feel.
Those are interesting theories, guys. All right, I think this wraps up this discussion episode. So let's
So I can go read chapter 23
we
now.
can read through chapter 23 now. I guess should we just read through the end of part 1?
We're finishing the book after that.
You want to
Part
finish
1
the
ends.
book?
Part 1 ends. Oh, you want to go all the way to the end? Is that possible? So there's 68 chapters. Part 1 ends at 35. And part 2 is 36 to 68.
Almost at 35 already from like when I accidentally read.
Maybe
We can do
we'll
part 1.
Maybe we'll play it by ear and we'll just post what chapter we're gonna read to later.
Yeah.
No,
When
we
feel
can
our
do
feelings.
part 1. That's okay. I thought we were breaking up where we were reading this and then reading the rest of the book. But
Yep.
I can do it.
First 22 chapters and we finished the book. I hope everybody else did too.
It's a challenge.
It's good though. Like I could easily finish the rest of the book in like a week, but I'll pace myself just for our podcast listeners.
I'm just yeah, I'm excited for you guys to finish.
Yeah.
I'll ask this question once we like sign off.
Let's sign off.
We definitely don't talk after we sign off.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Until next time.
Bye guys.
Bye.